This anime tricks you into laughing at a girl who's breaking inside. Imagine a world where your only way to cope with loss is believing in magic. Well, that's Rikka's life. This isn't a comedy about teens being awkward, it's a quiet tragedy about a girl trying to survive grief with no one to help her. This anime cleverly disguises itself as a romantic comedy, but it's actually a story about pain, grief, and the masks we wear to protect ourselves. Here's the truth you missed about love, Chunibyo, and other delusions. When you first meet Rikka Takanashi, it's almost impossible not to crack a smile. She's got those wild hand gestures, dramatic speeches about dark powers, and her signature eye patch sealing what she calls the tyrant's eye. It all looks so over the top, like she's just another middle schooler stuck in a phase. And that's the trap. Her Chunibyo isn't just for laughs, it's a whole world she's built to keep herself safe. Rikka's fantasy life isn't random or cute, it's a direct response to something she can't face head on. Her father's death. She never really processed what happened, and instead of dealing with that pain, she just built a place where she could still reach for him. That eye patch isn't just a prop. It's a wall she puts up, a way to say, I'm not ready to let go. In her world, she's got a shot at finding her dad beyond the invisible boundary line, a place where maybe, just maybe, he's still out there. This isn't about being quirky, it's about survival. When reality is too much, you do whatever it takes not to drown. Every piece of her act, the umbrella, the wild stories, the grand gestures, well, it's a shield. She's not just playing around. She's fighting off the real world, trying to keep the pain at a distance. But even the best shields have cracks. Watch her when she goes quiet, when her eyes drift up to the sky. That's not just spacing out, she's searching that invisible boundary line, hoping for a glimpse of something or someone that she's lost. There's this moment when she talks about searching for her father, and it hits different when you realize it's not a joke, it's the only way she can keep hope alive. And then there's Yuta. She clings to him not just because he's there, but because he gets it. Yuta knows what it's like to be lost in your own fantasy. He's still embarrassed about his old Dark Flame Master days. That shame means he doesn't judge her. He understands how it feels to use a made-up world as a shield, and that makes him the one person who doesn't treat her like a freak. Rikka's connection to Yuta isn't just about romance, it's about finding someone who sees the pain behind the act and doesn't try to rip that mask off. But here's where it gets real. Rikka's delusions aren't just her private struggle, they're a mirror for everyone watching. Who hasn't built up some kind of wall to keep the worst stuff out? Maybe yours doesn't look like an eye patch or a magic spell, but it's there. For Rikka, it's fantasy. For someone else, it's work or distractions or just pretending everything's fine. Her world looks silly on the outside, but on the inside, well, it's pure survival. Of course, even the strongest fantasy can't hold forever. Sooner or later, reality creeps back in. For Rikka, that means facing the truth about her father and figuring out how to move forward when the thing that kept her safe starts to fall apart. And that's when the people around her start to matter more than ever. You'd think the people closest to her would know how to help, right? But sometimes even the ones who share your pain can't see what you really need. Rikka's older sister Toka is the classic example of an adult who thinks she's helping but just doesn't get it. She's right there living under the same roof and still misses what Rikka actually needs. Toka's whole approach is about fixing what she sees as a problem. Rikka's delusions. She's practical almost to a fault and wants her sister to snap out of the weird phase and act normal. But here's the kicker, her way of helping is to take away the things that make Rikka feel safe. Like the time Toka snatches Rikka's umbrella, her so-called weapon, thinking that if she removes the props, she'll fix the behavior. She tries to confiscate the eye patch, the notebooks, anything that looks like a piece of Rikka's fantasy world. Toka thinks if she can just strip away the delusions, Rikka will finally start moving on. But that's not how grief works, and that's where Toka's approach falls apart. She's focused on correcting what's on the surface, not what's underneath. The pain, the loss, the desperate need for some kind of meaning, none of that gets addressed. Toka isn't heartless. She cooks for Rikka, keeps the household running, and steps up as the responsible adult. She clearly cares, but she just doesn't have the emotional tools to deal with a little sister who's grieving in such an unconventional way. It's not that she doesn't want to help, she just doesn't know how to step into that world with Rikka. Instead, she falls back on what adults usually do. Push for conformity, tell kids to grow up, and hope that acting normal will fix everything. This is exactly what you see in the real world all the time. Society doesn't know what to do with grief, especially when it shows up in messy, unpredictable ways. If a kid acts out or clings to a fantasy world or just won't move on, the usual response is to shut it down, to punish it, or to try to redirect it. There's this pressure to get back to business as usual, to fit in, to stop making everyone uncomfortable. Emotional coping mechanisms, especially the weird ones, end up getting punished instead of understood. Toka's reaction is just a smaller version of how adults in general handle things that they don't understand. It's not out of malice. Most of the time it's fear or just plain confusion. Adults are supposed to have answers, but when it comes to the complicated grief of a kid like Rikka, well, they're lost. And what makes this so tough to watch is that you can see Toka trying. She's not some villain, she's just stuck in her own way of handling pain. Like, she lost her dad too, and now she's got to be the strong one. There's no space for her to break down, so she doubles down on being practical. But that practicality leaves Rikka even more isolated. Toka's version of help is to force Rikka to grow up as if maturity is just about letting go of childish things. But for Rikka, those childish things are the only way she can process what happened. And in all honesty, the show nails this. Growing up isn't the issue. It's about having someone who sees the pain behind the behavior and doesn't try to erase it. This isn't just a problem in anime as well, it's everywhere. Kids who cope in ways adults don't get, whether it's fantasy, withdrawal, or acting out, usually get told to stop rather than asked why. The result? More isolation, more pain, and a sense that nobody's listening. Toka's approach is what happens when adults care but don't know how to meet a kid where they are. She's trying to help, but she's missing the point. Now, contrast that with Yuta's choice to step into her world first. Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions isn't just about fantasy, it's about how we survive trauma until we're ready to face it. Rikka's delusions aren't just quirks, they're her way of holding herself together after losing her father. That changes how you see the whole show. It's not just a comedy, and it's not pure tragedy. It's about what it takes to get through the worst and how long it takes to let go. Now, if Rikka's journey hit you like it did me, drop a like on this video and share your favorite moment in the comments. And while you wait for the next video to drop, why not check out this video on the screen that YouTube thinks you'll love? I'll see you over there. Till then, take care. Peace, peace!